2022 2022 2022 2022 2022 2022 2022 2022. Oh yeah. You know what time it is? It's mime time. Oh, baby, good gravy. Welcome to episode number 55 of Mime Time, a show where we talk about the Asian diaspora experience, overcoming our identity struggles, and becoming the best versions of ourselves. I'm your host, Mime. And if you're anything like me, you may have grown up with questions like, well, am I Korean? Am I American? Am I Chinese? Am I Japanese? You know, which are questions I actually asked myself when I was a kid because, you know, other kids, like no one knew in America where I grew up, no one fucking knew what or where Korea was. So I was always asked, are you Chinese or are you Japanese? And as a kid, people asked me so much like, well, am I Chinese or Japanese? They look like me. I can't even tell other Asians apart because there aren't so many Asians where I grew up. So how do I know? How can I even be offended when people say all Asians look alike? Because I grew up, there weren't too many Asians. And when I saw other Asians, I was like, oh, that person kind of looks like me. So how can I get mad? Anyways, I'm getting off track. The point being is like, you know, I grew up with these identity issues and deeply tied with my lack of sense of who I was this huge lack of self-confidence and a lot of misery and depression and self-hatred for not knowing who I was. And so while this might not be the mental, spiritual journey for other people, for me, I find that the issue of identity is deeply tied to my issues of self-esteem and the ability that I can do anything in life and that I have anything of value to offer the fucking world. So for me, the issue of identity, of like, you know, Asian ethnic identity, me being a minority growing up in the US, this is deeply tied to me, of course, coming back to Korea almost 10 years ago to find myself, as well as my journey to become a responsible adult who wants to make money, who wants to make friends, who wants to get with all the ladies. You know, this is the hero's journey. And I started this podcast because there's a fuck ton of Asian diaspora out there and minorities and third culture kids who have no one to talk with these issues about, like their own identity and where they grow up, the struggles that they have with their parents, the cultural and generational gap that they have with their parents and maybe people in their immediate family and so on. So I want us to all get together and talk about our feelings, man, and be hippies about it and get like real deep and psychological and spiritual so that we can like let go of this burden of intense, deep past trauma, this PTSD, this individual and collectivistic, whatever you want to call it, social, cultural, racial, Han, this individual and collectivistic pain body, this unconsciousness, this suffering that plagues all Asian societies and all Asian diaspora subsequently. I want us all to get rid of that pain. I want us to stop feeling the pain. Because I felt a lot of this pain, and I know a lot of you guys who are listening to this maybe have also gone through some serious pain and some similar issues and similar traumas. Feelings of, you know, low self-worth and embarrassment and guilt and shame and self-hatred, like all list them all, every single, you know, negative or petty or evil, dark character, negative emotion that you like. At points in my life, I hated someone so much that I wanted to kill them, and I hated myself so much that I almost tried to kill myself. And that was like 10 years ago, and now my life is so beautiful and dope and amazing that I'm glad I didn't do that. So alongside the journey of identity, as I keep reiterating, is the journey to become a better self in all different aspects of your life, whether that's physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally and financially and like with your relationships, your social network, your family and friends and all that stuff. So that's what we're going to delve into in this episode. There's going to be a lot. And this may be one of those episodes that you want to take your time with, listen to once or twice. And there's going to be a lot of resources and links to other videos and other content that if you take your time to really go through, it could really be beneficial for you. You could have the best year of your life. 2022 could be the best year of your life. Last episode, we talked about how hard 2021 was, at least for me anyways. This episode is about New Year's resolutions, or if that's a loaded term for you, just say goals for 2022. And let me tell you, I'm going to absolutely fucking kill it hard. Let's fucking go! No matter how hard last year was, hard, or how much life sucks, just remember, it can always get motherfucking worse. It can always get worse, all right? So always be grateful no matter what. The only thing within my control is to get stronger, smarter, more disciplined, more resilient, humbler, more compassionate, more grateful, sharper, and all that. We can categorize different aspects of our life, the physical, mental, social, financial, spiritual, etc., as I mentioned, and see how we can improve in each. The more specific I go, the more realistically I can actually track and take action, and the closer I get to my goals. So I have all these different goals and resolutions that I want to share with you, which of course are subject to change over time, over the course of the next month or the year. And I may not even reach all of them, but I will do my best to accomplish every single one. It's important to stick to one thing at a time and make sure you build the habit of it until it becomes second nature. Ideally, it takes just a month. But of course, I'm overly ambitious and have a bunch of things I've written down I want to improve on. Some of these are a continuation of habits or goals I've built over last year, so they won't be as difficult. And maybe some of these are areas in which you'd like to improve too. So whatever I say in this episode, and just like in all my episodes, I would want you to think, oh, how does this apply to me? And what can I learn from this to, improve my own life in some way, right? And have a growth mindset. If there's nothing else that sticks to you in this episode, if you're a complete noob at life, maybe it's just to adopt a growth mindset and to believe in yourself. Maybe nothing else that I'm going to say matters as much as this. Just adopt a growth mindset. If you're not happy with your life, believe that you can change it. I mean, you can hear this from everyone, but I'm telling you that this fucking worked for me. So you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. If I am a horse and I am speaking to you through my mouth, the mouth of the horse that I am, then I'm telling you this shit fucking works. Believe in yourself, motherfucker, and take action and just do shit. Like learn to grow, learn and don't take things personally. But okay, now I'm starting to get sidetracked. But again and again and again, believe in yourself, adopt a growth mindset, and learn as much as you can, and you're gonna live a great life. Believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. I mean, that's it. You don't really need to listen to the rest of this if that is enough to stick. And now let's get into health and fitness. Okay, so if this was a couple of years ago before my back injury, I probably would have set a goal like, oh, I want to get to 5% body fat percentage and lift 60 kilograms of deadlift or something like that. Bench 60 or 80 or 100, depending on how jacked, I could get at the time, which probably isn't that much. But I'm still not 100% from my back pain, from my back injury for basically a year ago. So I want to heal completely from my lower back pain, this sciatica, either by swimming or some form of exercise. So basically what I need to do this year in the next month or so is buy a membership at a local swimming pool. The goal for this year is not to get super buff, because then I'm just going to hurt myself if I go lifting weights again. I don't know. Whatever. You might say that that's a limiting belief. Tell me if you think that's a limiting belief. I don't care. Like, I don't want to hurt myself like that ever again. So I want to get completely healthy. Like, I want to completely heal my body of any discomfort or pain in any of my joints. I just want to take really, really good care of myself this year, because I went through a lot of stress because of my back pain, which led me to not taking care of myself, which led to more stress, and me making some really stupid decisions. So I don't want to do that again this year. I want to do things right, or even better than I did last year. Because I mean, I could have let things go a lot worse. So the fact that I did make a lot of changes, like discover the keto diet and take action on that, that was so good for me. So yeah, I want to completely get rid of this lower back pain and do my best to make sure it doesn't happen again. Do like lower back exercises that make sense, that don't increase my chance of injury again, that kind of stuff. So there's that. And part of me taking care of myself and healing my back, aside from like maybe getting a different mattress and making sure like I'm taking care, keeping good posture at all times, standing or sitting down, like even now, standing in front of this microphone in my bedroom studio as I record this, like I want to have like a straight back. So I'm kind of like leaning my shoulders back, this kind of stuff. I want to be mindful of this each and every day, as much as I can in every waking moment. And sleeping moments, I want to sleep in a good posture. Okay, you're probably bored about me talking about my back, but this is important, right? Health is wealth, family. If you don't take care of yourself, if you're in pain or discomfort, you cannot give all that you can. We are animals. We have our bodies and we have our brains and we have all these nerves, and we want to take good care of our bodies so that we have good mental health, so we can give our gift physically and mentally to the world. So part of that is going to involve getting lots of good sleep. And that means I'm going to take a break from drinking. I'm going to not drink for 6 months. So from January 3rd all the way to July, my birthday, I will abstain from drinking a single drop of alcohol. Because while I love alcohol, it's terrible for your sleep. As you may well be aware if you are a drinker, it's just not good for your sleep. And sleep is the most important thing. In episode 13, why I stopped drinking for 195 days, I talk about why I go on these breaks from alcohol. And this, for me, will be the longest. In 2020, I did 4 months straight of no alcohol, which I was very proud of. And now this time it's going to be 6 months. And it's funny because, other people around me are like, Mom, can't you just like 그냥 적당히 마시면 안 돼? Like, can't you just drink like a reasonable amount once in a while here and there? Like, can't you just like, you don't have to go really hard on yourself and not drink at all and then go crazy around your birthday or whenever you stop your break, whenever you break your alcohol fast. Can't you just take it easy, bro? And that is a fair question, family, but I feel like I work better in certain concentrated sprints where I can just contain my degeneracy into certain time periods, because I've got a dark side, or not a dark side. I've got my vices. I definitely have a dark side. I've got my vices and my impulses and my indulgences. So I want to be more efficient and honest with myself in managing them. So maybe the bigger challenge for me is like in a year's time is to just take things easy and not let alcohol waste too much of my time on a month to month or week to week basis. But for me, I just feel like this is really crunch time. Like I need to make a lot of money. As my dad would say, it's like, oh, I need to make a lot of money. When I was a kid, I'll tell you a brief story. When I was a kid, sometimes I would be so happy to see my dad. I'd be like a dog waiting for him to come home at the window. And then when he'd come, I was like, Dad, Appa, you're home. Woohoo. And I was like, how was your day? And, how are you? And then he'd be like, oh, I had a very good day. Today, I made a lot of money, and he'd be like rubbing his fingers, right, to show the money sign or whatever. I don't know. I just remember stuff like that. But it just reminds me, like, oh yes, like my father, I have to make a lot of money, and I will make more money than my father. I can guarantee you that it's very good to make a lot of money. So where was I? Okay, so yeah, health and fitness. I need to muster every single ounce of energy and strength and focus. So I want to cut out, negative habits in my life. Or, I want to at least contain them. I don't know if I have the will or desire to completely quit drinking. And you know what? I've been hiding something from you, fam. When I stop drinking, it's not just it's not just drinking. Like, I quit smoking too. I'm a smoker. Maybe I shouldn't say that, on this podcast. Like, I don't necessarily want everyone to know, but if you're listening to, not everyone maybe listens to this podcast when they say they do, like, they don't listen to it all the way, or they don't hear everything, obviously. But I'll mention this. I am a smoker, and I do enjoy smoking. And just like a lot of people who drink, when I drink, I smoke. And even when I don't drink, I like to smoke. And quitting drinking for a while is easier than what am I trying to say? Yeah, quitting smoking for a while is harder than quitting drinking for a while. For some people, it's the opposite. Because I grew up my whole life, hearing that drinking and smoking is bad, and I especially by the Christian church. And so I think, 10 years ago when I had my faith crisis, I went through a huge pendulum swing from being like a straight edge Christian kid who, stayed away from naughty things and didn't drink and didn't smoke. And then I came to Korea, and I became a partying alcoholic. I'm kind of joking, but I'm being half serious. I learned to enjoy drinking and smoking. And I should probably talk about this in another episode, but I think that was actually a good thing that, like, I didn't grow, like, I wasn't like a teenage smoker or drinker. Maybe it was good that I was a bit of a late bloomer, and that I, started drinking, smoking, like, in my early 20s, right? As opposed to being in teens, when it could have, like, more affected my psychology. Like, I could have been hooked in more deeply. And, but my point being of sharing this with you is, like, I don't feel like, I deserve maybe alcohol, like a drink or a smoke, until I've put in the time and I've put in the effort to take care of other things in my life. So I want to really make sure that I'm doing the best that I can to muster all my energy and focus to do the things that I want to do, and to make sure that I'm working at my optimal self. And so some people, of course, will argue, well, Mime, why don't you just quit those things completely? Why don't you just quit alcohol and tobacco completely? And to be honest, like, I just don't want to, right? And maybe this is the ego or the dark addictive part of me talking, but, like, I just genuinely enjoy those things. And so I don't know, maybe I need to, that's just one of those things where, like, I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But for right now, I'm taking a 6-month break, because, like, I want to sleep better, right? If you smoke all the time, it takes up lung capacity. The tar builds up in your lungs, so you don't sleep as better. You don't meditate as well, I would argue. And, all the alcohol, of course, you get lesser quality sleep. You don't go into, deep REM sleep and all that. So I figured, like, I need to get good quality sleep, and I want to have, premium optimal health and mental clarity. So I'm going to take away drinking and smoking for a while. And moving on to, health and fitness, like, I want to do 5 months of keto. I don't know how strict I'll be, but let's just say 5 months of keto. So not this month, but maybe starting from next month, I'll go back into like low carb, high fat, no sugar diets, and I'll just be completely clean and eat a completely clean diet of, like, mostly protein and veggies. And, continue to eat one meal a day, one nutritious, delicious, fattening, satisfying meal a day. So I'll slim down, but not just to slim down, but just to save time and money, and to work better cognitively. Burning all those ketones, will help me be more productive in my other tasks. And maybe, eating a healthier diet will help me sleep better. And all these things compounded with, me stretching regularly, and doing some simple workouts, and sleeping in the right position. Maybe these will contribute to me recovering from my lower back pain, this sciatica, whatever it is. I'm still not 100% sure what it is. I think it's sciatica, but you get my point. Like, I'm not trying to fuck around anymore for this year, right? I made myself a lot of excuses, and it's the holidays, blah, 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 blah. But now it's January. It's 2022. It's a brand new, fresh fucking year. And I don't want anything to hold me back. And I don't want my bad habits to hold me back, even though subconsciously I'm holding myself back somehow, because I am my worst enemy. So we'll figure that out. But I think these are good goals so far. And then I want to do 4 months of no caffeine. So, like, I I think some people would argue, oh, mime, like, maybe you should go cold turkey on like 5 things, like quit alcohol and tobacco and junk food and carbs and bread and rice and pasta and caffeine, do it all at the same time. And maybe like I could do it, but for now I'm just focusing, okay, no alcohol, no tobacco. So I'm letting myself have, whatever amount of junk food, nothing too crazy, but like, like I'm eating a ramen a day right now. But after a month, that's going to go away, fam. And then I'm also going to rely less heavily on caffeine because I want to get better sleep. And of course, I know that, I just mentioned that I want to get lots of good sleep, like 7+ hours a night. But caffeine is not good for that. However, I'm going to rely on caffeine for the next month or so and eventually wean myself off it so then I can have the best sleep possible. Maybe I'll quit sooner depending on how my sleep is over the next several weeks. And the idea is like all this good sleep and healthy dieting and stretching will help me, completely get rid of my pain issues, and I'll just be strong. And who knows, like fingers crossed, maybe by July, my birthday, like I'll have completely healed from this because I don't want to waste any more time. So yeah. Anyways, that's enough for the health and fitness portion. Let's move on to finances. And remember, fam, health is wealth. So we talked about how health is wealth. And now let's talk about finance, wealth, monies, dollars, oneers. Here's a big one for me. I want to reach $10,000 a month before the end of the year. I think I can do it. I'm not completely sure how, but I'm just going to improve the quality of my work and the amount of focus I do on my different projects. I started working as a freelance copywriter and content writer for a couple of startups as of a few months ago, near the end of last year. So I want to focus on that work and I want to over deliver. I want to become better. And I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But right now we're just talking about finances, not necessarily work stuff. Yeah, I want to reach $10,000 a month before the end of the year. Shout out to my boy Sammy, who recommended this video to me from a YouTube channel. This guy, Hamza, his name is Hamza. The channel is Hamza Unfiltered. And he basically just talks about how $10,000 a month is achievable for anybody who tries. And of course, there's a lot of perhaps reasonable skepticism, but I'm just going in hard and deep and just saying, fuck it. Like I can make $10,000 a month through the different job opportunities that come my way, through the current jobs that I'm doing. I just want to improve my skills, and I have to be putting in the time. Some people are, like, no, you need to hustle 24/7, put 8 to 16 hour work days to like make that kind of money. And maybe that's true for some people in some situations, but maybe nothing that crazy. What about just 4 to 5 hours a day? And like there'll be links to everything in the show notes and all that. But I really want to do this, fam. Like, I feel like I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in the upcoming future. Like, I want to be fucking rich, and I think that I can figure out reasonable, sustainable ways to provide value to the world that people will pay me for. It doesn't matter what the business is. The competition to get just into the 1% is not really that high. Anyone can get into the 1% or even the 5%, but once you're in it, then the competition is fierce. But along the way, to become like a top 5 to 1% earner, it's not that crazy. Maybe there's not a lot of competition, if at all, to get to that point. So whatever business or industry that I work in, I believe that if I put in the time, that I am worth at least minimum $10,000 a month. And I value my time going forward at $50 an hour. Like if someone wants me to do some work, then I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything less than $50 an hour. Or here in Korea, I'll give a cheeky kimchi discount, and I'll do it for 50,000 won, because $50 an hour is actually closer to 60,000 won. But for kimchi discount, I will do 50,000 won an hour. But I don't want to do any more work ever that's going to pay me less than that. If I didn't believe it before, then I'm just going to implement this into my life. Like I believe that I deserve $10,000 a month. I know that I can do that bare minimum. That is my bare minimum. I will make $10,000 a month before the end of the year. Fingers crossed, fam. I believe that I'm worth that much minimum, and I will charge nothing less than $50 for whatever work it is that I do, whether it's English editing or translation or private tutoring. Bare minimum 50,000, 50,000 an hour or $50 an hour. And I'm not actually that better or that much different from anyone else. Like, this is something that if you just choose to think big and believe in yourself, I think that you can do it too. I'm just putting it out there. So, Hamza, I'm getting some of these ideas from him, and of course, he's a content creator who gets his ideas from other people. And take everything we say with a grain of salt, yada yada. Do your own research, but believe in yourself. Remember, growth mindset. Believe in yourself. So, continue on with finances. Okay, so far we said I want to reach $10,000 a month before the end of the year, and also my time is worth minimum $50 an hour. So don't charge anything less than $50 an hour going forward, or omanon 50,001. I'm going to cook at home and only go out to restaurants or order delivery food max, let's say, maybe 5 times a month. Okay, I'll cut myself some slack there. Okay, 5 times a month. So like I guess I'll have to be really accountable with this. But basically, whether it's ordering delivery food on an app or going out to eat, I'm only going to do that 5 times a month. So if it's with a friend, so basically I'm taking reservations. I'm taking time slots, people. If you want to meet up with me, and we split a meal, or you want me to pay for your meal, then I only can do that 5 times a month from January, from this month onwards, for the rest of 2022. I don't know. What do you think? Is this weird? Hey guys, if any of my goals seem kind of unrealistic or not helpful, or if you think I should modify them in a way to make them more practical or make sense. But for me, I just find that I waste a lot of money when I should be just, cooking at home with the groceries. So I think that's what I want to do. I want to go out and order delivery food max 5 times a month, and so most of the time I will be, cooking at home. So I'll be honest. I think yesterday and the day before, for lunch, I went out to a place and I got Chinese food. So that's already 2 out of 5 times for this month. That means, oh man, I can't order any more food. I can only order 3 more times, food that other people make to pay for, that I have to pay for. Dun dun dun. Oh no, what do I do? So yeah, that's just so I can be super disciplined, and I'm not drinking anymore, right? So that'll be saving time and money. If I want to meet with people, I can order a coffee or maybe invite them over, and I have some old coffee and tea. If you guys want to hang out with me, I got some old coffee and tea. Actually, I've got some good shit. But yeah, come over if you want, and that won't count. But this is just to kind of minimize my social interactions maybe a bit, so that I can be more focused on my work. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like, do you want to hang out with me? Like, Mom, that's too limiting. Like, we need to hang out more, and I have, we should like grow together, and so this will help you. I don't know. I hope you get what I'm saying. So we talked about cooking at home, and I want to pay off $2,000 in debt a month. So I'll be honest with you, fam. I'm gonna open up a bit. Just like with my cigarettes, right? I'm not a perfect person, and I'm not an ideal person. I don't know. I'm not in an ideal situation in my life, like financially. I have a huge pile of student debt. And the best part is I didn't even graduate. So that debt has been gnawing at me for like a decade, since I dropped out of college. So I just want to nip that in the bud. So I want to pay off, $2,000 in debt a month, every month. I already paid off this month, so I'm going to do that going forward. So not only will I be paying off my debt aggressively, but I will be increasing the amount that I earn in the upcoming months. Wish me luck, fam. Like, I believe in myself, and I'm gonna do it. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe by the end of the year, I could potentially pay off most, if not all, of my debt, or at least for this year's goals. I want to, $2,000 every month for 2020. That I want to pay off like $24K worth of debt. Yeah, I want to pay $24,000 worth of debt. Because like I want to be a better person, and I want to be financially free, and I want to really be financially independent. And part of that is like mentally, financially, and spiritually, is like a freeing up debt to whoever it is that you owe. And whether that's to someone you know, a family or friends, or with an institution or a loan provider, you want to live your life without debt, ideally. But all the decisions in my past have brought me to this point, to this situation. So I just have to accept that and take extreme ownership and just pay off my debt. So it'll take me maybe a few years. God willing, best case scenario, I pay it off all this year, but who knows? So my goal is to pay $24K worth of debt this year, right? And that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of moves. So even if I were to tell you, fam, like, hey, I reached my goal of reaching 10K a month. That doesn't mean that I'm rich. Funny enough, right? Because you still have to pay taxes on that, and I still would have to pay off my student debt. And never forget, just because someone's making a lot of money doesn't mean that they're happy or that they're financially free. They might have a lot of debt or lifestyle creep, or they might be concerned with, keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with the Kims, as I say in Korea, trying to have like the nice car and the nice apartment and having a mortgage and taking out loans, so you might be making this much money every month, but you're actually just struggling to just keep up with appearances, and you're not really happy and you're not really free. You're just a slave to, the image that you want to present to you're slave to your ego, you're slave to the impressions of others. That's no way to live. So I want to be completely and totally free in every sense of my life, every sense of the word free. That's meaningful, healthy, happy, and sustainable. Okay, and here's another New Year's resolution or goal for this year. When tax season comes along, I want to get on the ball and not procrastinate. So I want to slowly gather materials for 2021 before May. So I don't know, maybe by February, maybe by next month, I'll look over like all my finances for 2021 and see how I did and review myself like financially and what I could have done better, how I could have made better money, so that I don't feel that, annual tax season crunch time stress that, everyone understandably, inevitably goes through. But I just want to make it easier for myself. And, having reported taxes for the US and for Korean taxes, annually for the past several years, like you kind of get a hang of it, right? You just do the same thing if you're working at the same jobs. And if you're working at a different job, then you report that income. I just have to tell myself, it's not a big deal, Mime, just do it one step at a time. And just be as organized as you can. Okay, we talked about health and fitness and finances. Now let's talk about work. For me, I'm doing freelance copywriting and content writing and, various jobs. Sometimes I do some English teaching here and there. I cover for a friend's class. I do some private tutoring. I do this podcast, but on any given week, I'm probably juggling 4 to 5 different projects that are generating me personal and business corporate income to my company. So remember how I said I want to reach at least 10K a month? Well, that's for personal income. And so how I want to focus my energy is in the freelance copywriting and content writing gigs that are coming my way. So I want to read at least 4 books on copywriting or writing in, I don't know, the next 2 to 3 months. Okay, so I'm already going through one book now. It's called Great Leads: The 6 Easiest Ways to Start Any Sales Message. This is one of those books that is like holy scripture. It's the Bible of copywriting or whatever. It's one of those things. So I'm reading that. So copywriting, marketing, copywriting good text that makes people want to read, is to convince them to buy something. It's essentially sales, right? And sales is arguably the most valuable skill that anyone can learn in this world, because we all have to market ourselves. Whatever business or career or job that you're involved in, you're not just involved in that job or that field. You're in the job of marketing in that field, marketing yourself, marketing your career, marketing your CV, your attributes, your assets, and you're in the job of marketing for your product. You're not just selling a product. Of course you have to market that. You have to market your service and your product and all that. So if I get good at this, then I will have jobs forever. I will never ever die penniless, for sure. I mean, this is like if I wanted to teach at a Hagwon here in Korea, being a native English speaker, I could always go into my networks and I'm very grateful for the opportunities that have come my way. And some of you listening to this may have very well offered me an opportunity to work at a really nice Hagwon with like good work environment and, to like, teach kids. And I love kids. And I think teaching is great, but I don't think it's really for me in the direction that I want to go, because I feel like I have so much more value to offer outside of the classroom. As much as I genuinely respect schools and hagwons and institutions, I feel like I can make greater impact on the world doing my thing, becoming like some sort of FIRE, financially independent, retire early, digital nomad type of dude. Except not necessarily that I'm digitally nomading all the time, but just being location independent and all that. So this year, I'm just going to really develop this skill and see how good I can get at it. And so I'm going to put in, several hours a day just reading and studying about this craft and doing the different tasks that I have to do for my clientele. And if you're one of my clientele listening to this right now, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for choosing me, Mime Time. And please let me know if there's anything I can do to offer more value to you. I mean, you've already heard me tell you this. If I haven't, then I've said it to you now. And if anyone listening to this needs good copy, like you need copy text that, converts, you want to have good marketing copy on your website or your email or whatever, then hit me up. And remember, I charge $50 an hour. I'm serious though. Hit your boy up at mime@mimetime.com if you need a cheeky copywriter. Okay, so I said I want to read at least 4 books on copywriting and writing in the next couple of months. And I wrote down a few notes, a few points that I always want to keep in mind. One is always remember to keep my clientele and customers happy and provide the best possible service, over deliver. This is a challenge for me, honestly, fam, because like I want to over deliver with any of my clients with what they're paying me and the tasks that they give me. But sometimes it's kind of hard because I don't necessarily know what to do. So I have to think about it. But I also, like I said, I'm juggling like 5 to 7 different, tasks or projects or freelance jobs, part-time work on any given week. So it's kind of difficult for me to keep track of everything and be on top of everything as best as I can. Who knows? Maybe I'll crash and burn in a couple of months. I'm just like, this is fucking bullshit. But that's why I quit drinking and smoking. You see why? Because I needed every ounce of good quality sleep, and every ounce of time, every minute, every hour has to be super efficient going forward if I really want to over deliver for all my clientele. So wish me luck, fam. And if you're one of my clientele and you ask me why I'm so, like, I'm doing the best I can, and I will do better. I'm gonna over deliver hard. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna fucking kill it this year. So next point is ask myself, am I doing my best job? Am I giving it all I can in this moment with whatever task I have to do? So I want to tell you right now that I'm doing the best that I can in this very moment. I'm doing this podcast. I'm trying to, not think too much about all the other responsibilities and duties that I have to, my networks and to my clientele and to family and friends and my flatmates and whatever. Like, I want to be completely here and give you the best mime time that I possibly can be. I want to ask myself all the time, am I doing my best job? Am I giving it all I can with whatever task I have in this moment? I want to be living in the moment and do my best job. And I want to ask myself the next point, which is, how can I be of better service to customers, to clientele, to colleagues? How can I offer value and make those I interact with happy to work with me, happy to do favors for me, and happy for me to work for them, happy for me to do favors for them? And just with anyone that I meet, how can I offer value? How can I offer you value, my dear listener? How can I make your day? How can I make you remember me and love me? How can I make the world a better place? I mean, of course, that's general and cliche, but yeah, specifically for, work and career environments and different jobs or whatever, what can I do to add more value to everyone I meet? Okay, so we've talked about health and fitness and finances and work between copywriting and various jobs. And now let's go into productivity. I only have a couple of points here, but one is break tasks into 30 minutes to 1 hour sprints. Focus on one thing, like me doing this podcast episode, and nothing else. Don't check the phone. Don't check social media. Get it done. It has to be done, warts and all, within a time slot on the calendar. Just do the best that you can, mime. Just focus. Just anything that needs to get done, just get it done and focus on it. And if you can, do it until it is done. And, that means like, ideally, guys, like I would like to be more organized, and I would have to like super neat and organized, like 5 categories, and each category has like 5 equal, beautifully organized points that are, easily digestible, and everything's just perfect, and everyone can just read it, and you just cum buckets, because it's so amazing and so loaded with value that it just changes your life. Every single episode should be super organized and not be disorganized stream of consciousness. I wish I were a more organized person, but at least I'm getting shit done. This is way better than silence. This is better than death. And so if my life is chaos, like, it's better that I'm here, and it's better that I'm showing up, and it's better that I'm doing the work than not at all, right? You cannot let, fear of the future, or, what is it? Perfection equals paralysis, something like that. I forget. Sorry, fam. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yes. Perfection, the pursuit for perfection, in this context can lead to paralysis. So meaning you don't get anything done at all, because like, oh, if it's not perfect, then how can I upload this? How can I put this out? And I mean, that's not what my parents thought when I was born. I'm saying? Like, I was a complete accident, fam. I was a complete accident. Was I planned? Is life planned? Oh, that's quite of a leap there, isn't it, fam? It's like, but seriously, it's content production, and we are all produced content, right? We are, whatever you want to call us. Bitterly, you could say that we are all born as cogs in this 21st century capitalist machine. And we are all just produced content. But that's what we are. We are produced, and we have content. We have the content of our characters, our genes and our flesh and blood bodies and all this shit. So, it's better for me to put this out than nothing at all. And just like my parents, I want to affirm their sacrifice and their lives, and what they've done for me. And I want to fully affirm my own life, like, oh, has my life been perfect? No. But blah, 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 blah. But it is amazing. I have an amazing life, and I'm grateful to be alive, because I shouldn't fucking be here. I'm telling you guys, I was an accident. I was born 10 years after my brothers. And I was born even though my father had a vasectomy, right? That means my father tied his tubes. They had the surgery. So like he doesn't, like, he can't give kids anymore, right? So even if he cooms hard, no matter how hard he cooms, like, he shouldn't have a kid. But I guess shout out to my father. He coomed so hard that I came into existence. Like, I was just, I gotta be born. Oh yeah, mime time. Do you know what time it is, world? It's time. It's 10 years after my brothers were born, and it's time for an accident to occur. It's time for mime to be born. I'm sorry if you guys think this is gross, but I mean, I actually think this is fucking brilliant. I mean, what do you guys think? Come on, I just pulled that out of my ass, but it's brilliant. My ass, which is a producer of amazing content like this moment that I'm sharing here with you, fam. I'm serious. Like, if for productivity, I got to get it done by a specific time. I got to set myself the deadline. I got to set myself the boundaries, and I'm going to do my best, and it may not be perfect, but warts and all, I got to get this shit done. I have to produce this copy. I'll give it my best, and if I have time, I'll try to make it, more polished and whatever. But if I'm always like concerned about how it should be more like this, and I should talk like this and whatever, my episodes and my webpage and all this stuff, if I spend too much time obsessing over all these details when I clearly don't have time, I just need to like aim my shot as best as I can, my focus as well as I can for a specific period of time, and do my best to hit the marks. And if I don't, it's okay. Like next time I reload, next day or next week when I have to do the same task, like I'll try to do better. So it has to be done, warts and all, and I'll produce this content. And I hope you're learning something from this. I hope you're getting a lot of value out of this, family, actually. I hope you get a value out of every episode. So if you're getting value out of this, please share this with a friend who you maybe think is a bum, because I'm a bum too. And maybe this will help them have a better year. I hope this is helping you have a great year right now, just listening to this. So again, to reiterate, like it has to get done because I was done. And look, I'm here and I'm living a great life. Again, it's not perfect. And there are people who are way more smarter and intelligent and organized than me. But me just showing up here like this means a lot. It means a lot to me. And I think this is providing a lot of value for you, my dear listener. Yeah, fuck it. Like I argue it would be better that you listen to this than, watch a bunch of cat videos on YouTube for a while. I mean, as fun as that is, you can only watch so many cat videos, and how many cats are going to meow to you about, existentialism and cultural identity and how to be the best version of yourself and how to have a great 2022. If you have found some cat videos that tell you to be the best version of yourself and to have the best fucking 2022, let's fucking go, then please send me that link. I would really appreciate it so I can learn from the masters. Or should I say the meowsters? Oh, baby, you see what I did there? Okay, and then next, under productivity, plan to do 10 things in one day. Realistically, do half and put the rest to tomorrow. This works best for me. For some of you, it might be different. For some of you, you might do better if you just plan 1 or 2 things and then you really focus on that. But for me, I just try to focus on 10 things, 5 to 10 tasks or some things that I need to do. And I try to get through the most difficult 5. And then I try to do the one thing that's maybe most overdue, like this podcast episode. I was supposed to put it out this Monday on the 3rd, but now it's going to come out today, the 5th of January. So I'm already late, right? But I want to do this, and then as soon as I do this, as soon as I eat this frog, as they say, I eat this frog, then I have to swallow the next frog, which is a copywriting assignment that I need to take care of. So I don't know what works for you. If you have a better idea, please let me know. But I find that, okay, if I put a little bit of pressure, not so much that I end up doing nothing at all, that's bad, But if I give myself, okay, for this Wednesday, I have a bunch of things on my calendar, on my schedule, the time slots for this day. I will try to do this, and try to hit 3 to 5 out of 10, And so that's what I'll do. So if you have any better ideas or better habits or better ways to manage your time and assignments and your administrative tasks or whatever, then please let me know. So moving on from productivity. Oh, I should also mention here, if you listen to Deep Questions by Cal Newport, all right, maybe I should put this in the show notes. You know what? Can you do some research? Can you just look it up? Deep Questions, Cal Newport. He wrote a book about digital minimalism and deep work. These books will change your life if you learn from them about just the most important thing that anyone can do is develop the ability to focus on one important task and give it all your mental faculties for a given period of time and do that day in and day out. Focus. Doing some deep, meaningful work and cutting out distractions, right? With your electronic devices and social media and notifications and emails and everything, cutting out distractions, focusing on the work that feeds your soul, that makes you money, that solves a problem for the world. That is what's really important. So for productivity, I mean, you could just stop listening to this podcast and start listening to Deep Questions by Cal Newport. That's a great podcast, and I highly recommend Deep Work by Cal Newport and Digital Minimalism. Yes. Okay, fine. I'll put these in the show notes. His podcast, Deep Questions, is all about productivity and making the most of your time and all that stuff. It's really, really good shit. I should start listening to it again for this year. I hope this isn't overwhelming for you, fam. I mean, just take everything that I'm saying at your own pace if you seriously want to learn from this. Or maybe you're just listening to it because you like the sound of my own voice. But I mean, that's cool. But if you want to really get more out of everything that I said, the things that are true, and the sources that I mentioned, then please delve into those sources and take time with all the things just one at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. I know I'm probably overwhelming you with a lot of information. but like I really enjoy all these sources and I really want to share them all with you. And yeah, just take your time with everything. So moving on from productivity, I want to share with you guys like my goals for the Mime Time podcast. I'm maintaining one episode a week, going on from June of last year, and I'm really happy. I'm really proud of myself that I was able to do that when I picked it up again in June. After not doing the Mime Time podcast for 6 months, I picked it up again in June, and I'm pretty sure I was able to put out one episode each week since then. So from episode 26 all the way to episode 54 up until New Year's Eve. So wow, like I did it. I held my word and I was consistent. In spite of like, feeling a little burnt out and being stressed out and doing this and that, like I'm really proud of myself that I was able to do a new episode almost on time every Monday. And that's great. Like I can just, as long as I keep up this pace and put out dope content, dope interviews, and my dopest nuclear weapons grade philosophical, cultural, sociological insights on identity and how to be the best versions of ourselves, then like I am succeeding. I'm succeeding. This is episode 55. If I release one episode for 56 weeks in a year, right? Because there are 56 weeks in a year. It's been a while since I counted, but I think that's right. I'll hit 100 episodes of Mime Time before the end of 2022. Realistically, I'm in hobby mode for the podcast. I'm not going full-time podcast-trepreneur, nor is that something I'd recommend to anybody who needs to make a living, right? Because I need to make a living and I need to pay off my debt. This is my passion. But the other freelance work and jobs that I do have to take precedence for the sake of paying off debt and making a living. There's no point in beating myself up about it. As far as I can see, it is what it is. I'm fortunate enough to even be able to put out one episode a week, and that's fine. And I'm sure other major podcasters like Jordan Harbinger, shout out to my boy Jordan, would say the same thing. Just keep it as a hobby. Don't do anything ridiculous like, quit up all your day job to pursue your passion. That's a nightmare. Don't ever do that. Just if you're passionate about something, just like keep doing it for a while and put more and more time into it that you can spare, as a side hustle, and then eventually try to do like a reasonable, gentle transition. That would actually be ideal. So I have mentioned that before, like in my previous interviews with Danny Cho. He said that he wouldn't recommend that anyone quit like their job if it pays well. Maybe like give yourself a bit of a cushion, save up some money, either save up a lot of money or have something that you can like jump over to. So you don't have to like fall into this trap of thinking that you need to be a starving artist to get more of the glory later. I mean, it is quite glorious to be a starving artist for a while and then make it big and hit your big break, for sure. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think that's something that everyone has to do in order to reach, their goals or their targets for success and happiness and fulfillment. So in life, you get in where you fit in, and you have to find the realistic balance between pushing yourself and being content with where you are in life. There is toxic self-improvement and hustle culture that's toxic, or perhaps not toxic, but just simply not applicable or realistic for your life situation that you have to have the wisdom to discern for yourself, right? No one can figure it out but you. Am I wrong though? Message me and tell me that I need to do more. Mime, you're not doing enough. You need to be like Elon Musk and doing the 16-hour, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure no one actually has ever talked to me like that. But if they actually perhaps like, did think that way, it's like, oh, Mime, you're not doing enough for your podcast, or why don't you do this. I mean, I would like them to see what I'm doing, trying to manage 5 fucking different projects or jobs or responsibilities on a week-to-week, day-by-day basis, and see if they would do much better. If I think about it, I should really cut myself a lot of slack that, I know I need to be doing more, and I know that I could do more, and I should do more, and I will do more. But at the same time, I realize I've been feeling kind of lonely because no one is doing the shit that I'm doing right now. Like, no one has gone through this transformation, this personal transformation of like wanting to kill themselves 10 years ago and then coming to another country and learning the language of that country and overcoming like identity issues and trying to resolve these things, trying to be life affirming and trying to heal the pains of the past and trying to make money and trying to get laid and trying to have a positive, healthy relationship and then have a podcast to talk about it all while juggling different jobs and responsibilities, and trying to be the best versions, putting the best foot forward every single fucking day. I don't meet a lot of people my age doing quite what I'm doing right now. And so maybe this sounds egotistical, but anyone who's in a position to judge me and say, Mom, you can do better, you can be more well time managed, you can do this, you can have more podcast outputs, you just need to manage your time a bit better, blah, 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 blah. You know what? That kind of person who's actually in a position to judge me and that like I would gain to listen from, they're probably too busy making millions of dollars already doing their own shit to even like spend their time talking with me just yet. So because if you can manage what I'm doing and like succeed and over deliver on all these different areas of life, there's no way you're not going to be a millionaire from the way I look at it right now. So if I just figure this shit out, I'm going to become a fucking millionaire. I'm going to become super fucking rich, and I'm gonna then like I can maybe like ease off on those breaks a bit and then just focus on my podcast, which is this podcast, which is really my passion. That's right, guys. My passion is making sweet, passionate love to you on this podcast. Oh, yeah. That's right. Just where, I say my stupid shit and hopefully you get something out of it and it changes your life and the lives of those around you so that we can all meet one day and have a cheeky mime time party. Like, oh, guys, you know what time it is? And, I just like, I yell into the microphone on the stage. Oh, guys, you know what time it is? Oh, and then I give the microphone. I hold the microphone out to the crowd and everyone's like, it's my time when motherfucking God's made. Oh, yeah. Right. So maybe like in a few years, like God willing, that happens. And so I'm in the meantime, Mime Time podcast, right now, for 2022, I just want to put out one episode a week. I just want to be fucking consistent, right? And I will not beat myself up for not being like a full-time podcaster and putting out 3 episodes of high quality, each week, whatever. Even like top podcasters that I know, I don't think they're putting out 3 episodes a week, but maybe 1 to 2. So I'll just try to maintain 1 or more. And also, I won't say try. I will. Let's see. Okay. So I'll put the date in real time, fam. I'll make this. I'll set this goal with you. Let's say by February 1st, I have to have my first video on YouTube of this podcast. So I will figure out whether I should put out like my catalog of old episodes, like everything up until this episode, episodes 1 all the way to episode 55. Should I put these older episodes or just up first and then just put them out like 2 or 3 times a week? Anyways, I'll figure it out. So by February, guys, I'll have my YouTube channel putting out episodes, whether it's old stuff or new stuff. I will at least be able to finally tell you guys who keep asking me, Mime, why aren't you on YouTube? Are you on YouTube? Can I find you on YouTube? Yes, I know YouTube is important. I'm not that stupid and stubborn to realize that it's not important I'm not that stupid or stubborn that I don't understand the importance of being on YouTube. So I will finally be able to put stuff on YouTube. I also need to figure out if I should put more stuff on Instagram or Facebook, because to be honest, like I do enjoy using Instagram and Facebook. I like posting up like a funny picture or a cool video or picture, something funny, something that's entertaining. And then I like the validation. I like getting all the likes and the comments and like, oh man, that's so funny. Oh yeah, you're the motherfucking god, mate. Whatever it is, it could be a picture of my coffee, in the morning, or just like a picture of me looking up like a bum walking in the street, looking like I'm homeless or something. I don't care. Like that's just fun. Like I genuinely enjoy using social media. I enjoy it so much that I decided to like barely use it last year. Like I don't remember the last time I posted something on Facebook, maybe or Instagram. Maybe it was like 6-8 months ago or something. And partially because like I still live a very great active life, not posting stuff. And maybe I should for the sake of my podcast, but the problem here, going back to like deep work, Cal Newport and digital minimalism. If I want to make a deeper, meaningful impact in all the things that I do, I need to like garner all my focus and my energy and my intention into what really matters. And what really matters is this moment, fam. Like me producing this content, me talking to you right now. This is the shit that's going to change the world. And of course, you know, using Facebook and using Instagram, people do use the media. They do find cool shit. I use it too. I've used it too. I've used Facebook and Instagram to watch and consume content from other people who inspire me. Yes. You know, the Gary Vaynerchuks and the David Goggins and whoever the fuck. Sure, it's all great. But I realize if it's going to hinder me or if it's going to kind of discourage me from like, you know, being just that one more thing you got to do, you know, as a content creator, you got to be like, you know, you got to be your own tax account. You got to be a business person. You got to, you know, not just be a content creator, but you got to be a marketer. You got to know about SEO. You got to know how to build a website. You got to know how to, you know, manage SNS and all this stuff. Like there's so many things and so many tasks that, you know what really matters? What really matters is making awesome content. And so maybe if I have more time to devote to this on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis, then I would do it. But I need to use this time to be making money doing other stuff. And I need to be using this time not just to like, you know, post something on Instagram or whatever. Maybe I should, right? Just to let you guys know and it'll increase stuff. But the more important thing, guys, is to me, is word of mouth. And if you genuinely enjoy listening to the sound of my voice, and if this is positively impacting your life, then I would just really, really appreciate it if you just share this with other people, because that's really powerful, because that changed my life. Someone, not, you know, going on social media or whatever, but someone just say, hey, my boy Sammy, who I mentioned earlier, shout out to Sammy again. He sent me a link to a podcast called The Jordan Harbinger back in like 2018. And it was episode 105 or something. And it was about building atomic habits with James Clear. And that book and that author, James Clear, has blown the fuck up since then. And probably everyone has heard about Atomic Habits, New York Times bestseller by now. Oh, that's another New Year's resolution. I'm going to have to re-listen to that audiobook again because it's so fucking good. I'll put the link to the show notes, right? Atomic Habits by James Clear and the Jordan Harbinger episode featuring him. But it was just that word of mouth, you know, recommendation that I started listening to it, and that changed my fucking life all the way to the point that I ended up subscribing to Jordan Harbinger's newsletter, and then I met him on his birthday in America at the beginning of 2020. It's wild. You've heard me. You might have heard me say this story before, but you know that can change a life. That changed my life because someone shared a podcast with me. Someone shared a link with me. So if that can happen to me, and that can happen to you, then that can happen to one of your friends or your acquaintances. If you share this stuff and maybe you share it to them, and maybe this is what they need to hear. If you share this with someone. Worst case, like, oh, who the fuck is this Mime Time guy? What the fuck? His name is spelled Mame? Like, what? I'm not listening to this shit. This is like over an hour long now. What? Ain't nobody got time for this. But maybe they just listen to it like, who's this Mime Time guy? Oh, okay. What? Oh, well, no, that's interesting. Like, oh my God, I feel like he's talking about exactly my motherfucking problems. This is what I need to hear all my whole fucking life. Yeah, so please share with some friends, guys. That's your fee for the show. You know, like, I'm not worried about monetizing. I'm not worried about making money off this right now. I just want this to help people, and I hope it's helping you. So please share it. Please share it. Please share it. That is your fee. So as long as I put out one episode a month and it's the best content that I can provide, and I tell myself that I need to do better and I'm always going to try better with the time that I have and the amount of energy that I can spare, then I'm happy with, I am succeeding. I'm succeeding now in this very moment, producing this content for you, fam. And it makes me happy. I'm falling in love with this process because this is how empires are built. And this is how my future is built. And this is how I change the world. And this is how I give back to humanity, having stood on the shoulders of the giants who came before me. So thank you so much for being part of this. Part of Mime Time. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, one episode a week. And I want to hit 1,000 downloads a month by December 2022. So it's currently ranging from 20 to 50 downloads per week, guys. And so that means at most I hit about 200 downloads a month. You know what? I'm grateful for every single download. And for me to average right now about 200 downloads a month, considering the amount of time that I put in, you know what? Like, I'm happy about it, guys. Yeah, sure, I could be leveraging. I could do more SEO marketing, and I should be kidding me, people, blah, 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 blah. So I, I'm happy if one or two people listen to this, if just a handful of people listen to this every month, and it's doing something for them. It's changing your life. It's making you want to forgive your mom and dad. It's making you feel like you have a better idea of who you are, and it's making you believe in yourself. Then, oh my God, like that is my dream come true. So if I can do that times 5, 200 downloads a month to 1,000 downloads a month, then that I think that's a realistic goal, and I hope to hit it sooner. So please, fam, if you can, just like I said, share this with 1 to 3 people that you know who you feel like this would apply to them in some way. I'd really appreciate it. And so what I want to do is I want to share a link to one of my episodes. That's what I'm going to do with at least one person every day. I'm not saying you should do this. Don't do this because you're going to get sick of me and people are going to get sick of you. They're like, who the fuck? Have you joined a cult? What is this mime time cult that you've joined? But I'm just saying for myself, if I do this 30 times a month, that's an additional 30 downloads a month. So then, right, if I can hit an average of 230 a month, then maybe after, maybe some of those downloads, some of those people who I share that, they'll share it with their friends, and maybe that'll compound as the months go by, and that'll multiply and all that. So we'll see. Okay. Now I am going to go into the mental and spiritual category, and this is going to be a bit, I don't know, maybe this is too much. Maybe I need to split this into another episode, but let's see how far I can get. If you listen this far, fam, first of all, I really appreciate your attention. And this automatically actually makes you a motherfucking god, not just because you're a Mime Time listener, but because most people don't have the patience to listen to something for like an hour straight. Or, it's okay to take a break here and there, but actually giving it your attention while you do the dishes or you're on a commute or something. Like, I do this shit all the time. I listen to my favorite authors and podcasters and audiobooks, and I'm just engaged in it while I'm doing the dishes or I'm on my commute, I'm riding a bus, and I'm giving it as much attention as I can, without bumping into people or walking on the street, when in front of cars and stuff. But if you've listened this far, that's amazing. Now we're going to go into something really hard. We've talked about health and fitness and finances and work and career stuff, jobs. And I've talked about like Mime Time podcast, productivity. But now I'm going to talk about the mental/spiritual stuff. And I'm going to start with something simple. Read a book or listen to a podcast/audiobook at least 20 minutes a day. So this is more about consistently, because maybe there's some days where I don't listen to anything at all. I generally hit this already, but I just want to like put it out in writing. So maybe that's something you could do as well. And as I mentioned before, I want to reread or re-listen to Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I want to meditate 20 minutes every day. And this is something I've been carrying over for last year. I've just missed a few days in the past like 4 or 5 months or so, but I'm really proud of myself that I've been able to stick to it for the most part. And this is just to remind myself that as I meditate, when negative thoughts come up, take a step back and look at them. Notice they come without your volition. So, like I'll have like moments working with people. Maybe it's my business partner, maybe it's my girlfriend, maybe it's with family or friends or whoever. And like I get like maybe they're nasty to me or they have a bad day. Everyone's entitled to a bad day, by the way. And then maybe it affects me emotionally, and I think about it, I brood about it, and it bothers me whenever I think about it. And then when I go to meditation, like the thoughts come up, like, oh, this person, why is that guy so pissy, or why is he such being so like, annoying, or why is this person being passive aggressive, And then I think, then I have to think, maybe that's a reflection of me. Maybe I'm doing something to instigate that. Or maybe this is just an opportunity for me to realize that I don't need to take this thing personally, and it's not worth fighting over. Like there's like meditation is so important for like practically it's important because it'll develop your skill to focus, strengthen your prefrontal cortex or whatever the hell that is, and build your focus muscles. It's really important to do that. So if I hadn't been meditating for the past 5 months or whatever, I would imagine that it would be hard for me to be focused on this, because I'm just going from point to point to point. I'm doing this episode. I'm recording and producing this episode. It's like to focus on anything for hours straight is a rare ability in this day and age for anybody. Like so many, whether you're 29 years old like me or a millennial or a Zoomer, right? You got TikTok and Instagram and all this bullshit. We got a bajillion distractions in this world. But if you learn how to meditate and focus and put a time blocks and like, do the Pomodoro method where you set a timer for 30 minutes or whatever, then you're going to be ahead of the curve because there's really no competition for people who just get shit done by learning how to focus. And if you learn how to meditate, like, maybe some people, they're already killing it. Like Gary Vee says he never wants to meditate because he knows himself and he's already doing like putting in 16-hour workdays and he's happy. So he feels like he doesn't need it to add anything. He's worried it might fuck it up. All right. Unless you're playing at that level, if you say you don't have time for meditation, then you're exactly the kind of person who would benefit from meditation. So I try to meditate every single day. And I think this is what has helped me to keep my shit together, right? Like mentally as well as professionally and spiritually. So now I want to go a bit into some mental and spiritual reflections that I'm always working on and things that I always want to keep in mind for 2022. I want to look at the world from a cooperative framework. It's not you versus them. It's not me versus my mom, who bothers me sometimes, or my family. It's not me versus my family. It's not me versus Korean culture or Korean culture. It's not me versus American society or American culture. It's not me against the government. I want to look going forward. I want to look at every institution, every business or individual as a potential helper, as someone who is human, someone who needs help. And this doesn't mean be stupid and doesn't mean, don't protect yourself, but, you want to be shrewd and, you don't want to be in toxic, abusive relationships for sure. But I just tell myself, I have no enemies. That makes me enemy-less. And that makes me invincible. In Korean, the word for invisible is mujok, mujokada. That means invincible. And the Hancha, the Sino-Chinese characters, for mu means nothing, and chok means enemy. So mujok means no enemy. I have no enemy. And kindness is power. I don't want to hold any grudges against anyone in my family or my immediate circles. There's people I have beef with here and there are people who annoy me, and they're, whoever I know, maybe they're with enough time, they did something that pisses me off. But at the end of the day, no one is my enemy because I know everyone is fighting a hard battle. See the world as it is. That's what I want to do. Going from Robert Greene. I love Robert Greene. He wrote like Mastery and, the 48 Laws of Power and stuff. I'll link a couple of his episodes, a couple of podcast episodes with him down in the show notes. See the world as it is. See people for what they are. Always remember to be super practical and realistic. Always put yourself in other people's shoes. See what they want, what they need, and if you can provide. Next, it's always my fault. Not in a, I got this from Tom Bilyeu, not in a blame myself and make me feel bad kind of way, but I had this problem and there was probably something I could have done better, so I'll make a proactive change for next time. And next, everyone is fighting a hard battle. I just said this. Everyone is doing the best they can. So I tell myself, don't judge against others and separate yourself in ego separation. You're only tearing apart your own brother and sister, an image of yourself. You're tearing yourself in what you see in the other. If something bothers you in someone else, 99% of the time, it's a reflection of what is inside you. And so it's not about the other person. When someone bothers me, it's not actually them. It's something in my past, in my mind, in my psyche that I need to deal with. I can waste my time and energy being mad at my mom for the past and for being manipulative or hold resentment against her for things in the past. I can harbor grudges towards anyone and anything and any situation or time in my life. Oh, this was unfair. Or, fuck, why did that happen? Like, I didn't deserve that. Or, God damn it, why? Oh, I was stupid. Why did that happen? Why did I let that happen? Or whatever. I want to forgive everyone. I don't want to judge people anymore. I want to believe everyone is doing the best they can. And if they act maliciously even, it's because they don't know any better. And no one showed them a better way to live or something like that. They act unconsciously. So forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, Jesus said to the people who are crucifying him. And Jesus also said, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. So I think that applies to all of us. Like, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Meaning, which means that I am completely perfect and innocent in all situations, and no one, I never do anything wrong. It's always other people's fault when they piss me off. For the record, fam. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, and let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Right. So this is just the golden rule philosophy shit. This is like, I don't want to be judged. I don't want people to hold a grudge against me for something in the past when people just don't see how I've changed or whatever. They might have like a snapshot of me in the past that's not like true to who I am anymore or whatever. Some people might completely misjudge my character. I don't want them to judge me like that. But even if they do, and even if they're people who completely misjudge me or misinterpret me, I don't need to take it personally because that's actually on them and not me. That has just as much to do with them as if it has anything to do with me. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Like, I don't need to take these things personally. I can forgive everyone else, and I want to forgive myself too, because let he who is without sin cast the first stone. This stuff is just like, if I want to be happier, if I want to be more magnanimous, if I want to be more compassionate, if I want to be a better person, if I want to be the ideal magnanimous person in my own mind, like the best paragon of human virtue and charisma and everything that I imagine that I would want to be deep down inside, then this is the path, this is the way. This is the way. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. I want to love everybody. I want to forgive everybody, just as I forgive myself and I love myself. And even if that's not objectively true that people are going through a hard time, it doesn't fucking matter, for fuck's sake. Whatever grievances I have with people, with society, with the world, real or imagined, whatever grievances I have, real or imagined, I have to let them go. I have got to let it go. What matters is the kind of person I want to be. That's what matters. What is the goal? The goal is for me to become the motherfucking God, mate. I want to be a really good person. I want to be the best version of myself. What is my identity? I am someone who loves myself, loves humanity, sees the best in humanity, and wants to help contribute to raise the vibrations of human consciousness to upper levels. Like I want to change the world, but I'm gonna start with the man in the mirror, that type shit. You know what I'm saying? All right, next. I'm going to fail a ton and make mistakes in all my endeavors, and that's okay. That's part of life. That's part of success. And I gotta forgive myself and cut myself some slack when I do. I'm going to set some lofty goals, but fail and fall to the levels of my systems. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to fail. And when I fail, I must learn. And I will make mistakes, some again and again. And sometimes you don't learn from mistakes the first time. And that's okay. Just try again and be more careful. And when you fall, get back up right away. That's life. That's true success. Getting back up from failure again and again. Again, what is my identity? I'm Korean, I'm American, and I'm me. And for some of you, like your ethnic or your national identity, this might not mean anything to you, but it does for me. I'm both Korean and I'm American, and I'm me. I'm mime. I'm someone who's always willing to get to the next level. I'm someone who's always willing to change and become a better person. I'm willing to go further where most never will, where no mime has ever gone before. And I'm going to go hard. I'm someone who's willing to be radically honest with every single square inch of my life and be extremely responsible and take extreme ownership over everything. And if I'm not completely honest with myself, then I will make the steps and attitude changes necessary for me to discover the whole truth, the whole and complete truth about myself in every facet. I believe in myself 100%. I will be successful, rich, happy, or whatever, because I'm already successfully enjoying and learning from the processes that are taking me to where I want to go now. I'm already enjoying the processes of growth now. I'm going to be my own Ubermensch. No one's going to save me but me. I'm my own Messiah. I'm my own savior. I'm my own person. I own up to all my mistakes and behavior in my life. I am more reliable than most. I take extreme ownership over everything in my life. I am compounding my gains every day. I am unstoppable. I have no enemies. I love myself. I love everyone. I am love incarnate. As in, I am the manifestation of love. I am pure joy and love for all humanity. I love people. I love myself. And I love you. 2022, let's fucking go. Fam, let's get it. Let's make this the best year of our lives. I sure will, and I totally invite anyone to join me. And if you guys want to talk about like what you want to do for this year and how we want to make our lives even more awesomer than they already are, then hit me up. Hit your boy Mime Time up. Let's hang out, let's chat, let's learn and grow from each other. Let's make this a fucking killer year. Let's fucking kill it. Let's fucking go 2022. And let's become the motherfucking gods of 2022 made. Oh yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you next time. My time.